Good evening, Facebook family. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Empowerment Platform, where our goal here is just to empower you to meet all of your goals and to provide resources to help you achieve and to move forward with your goals and your dreams, whatever that may be. I'm not here to say or give you a goal, but just to provide the resources for your goal. Tonight, I don't have a guest, it's just me. So it's going to be a conversation, and you can feel free to put in questions in the chat and I will go over them. But tonight, I wanted to share a little bit about or go in more depth to who I am, why I'm doing this, what the goal and the vision for the empowerment platform was, and some takeaways from two events that I attended over the last week. So the first event was the ETA Game Changers Speaking Boot Camp, which is with Eric Thomas and the ETA family. Lots of certified coaches were in the building. And the second event was Ascend Mastermind, which is a hybrid one-on-one coaching shared with a mastermind. So the group gets together and you're able to share where you are, what you're doing, any limitations, anything that's in the way of your goals. And the collective brain is able to give you feedback on what they see, ask clarifying questions, just to help you through and help you try to understand where you're going or what may be some hindrance. And oftentimes it could be you. You could be the one that is in your own way, so to speak. So having that collective mind gives you the opportunity to have some clarification. So I'm going to start with what I learned, and just bear with me because oftentimes when we share a story, what's up, Britton? Glad you're here, brother. I need your support tonight. So, oftentimes when we share our story, we share what we want people to know about us specifically, our strong points, what we want people to see. What I've noticed is when I went to Michigan for the 2 day speaker event, I went up there and I gave a quick 6 minute speak. That's all they gave us, 6 minutes. So you had to have whoever your target audience was, whatever you're talking about, boom, get it out 6 minutes. And I went up there and I thought I gave the most, I thought I not really killed it. Like I did what I do, what I know how to do, and that's speak. I've been doing it for a long time. My feedback for that was, man, you came in, you got great tone, you got great presence, you control the audience, your pace was good, you moved back and forth in the crowd, you delivered your points, but my points were cliches. I used a lot of quotes that the community knows. And another part of that was I didn't connect my story. So CJ, which is one of the part of the brain trust with Dr. Eric Thomas and crew, he said, you need to connect your story. And I kind of walked away with, what is my story? Like, who am I? What am I really doing this for? And for a long time, and even now, because we look at Facebook and just we see filters. We see the happy point of people's lives. Sometimes we see venting, but for the most part, we just see what people want us to see. So that's what I went up there and did. I gave them what I knew or thought they wanted to hear, a great speaker, but I didn't give them my story. How do I connect with my target audience? Who is my target audience? When I think about those things, sometimes I just don't really know. And it all stems from I still struggle with identity. Who am I? What was I put here to do? What am I passionate about? Who can I reach with my story? And I don't know. you know, I set out, and even now, let's go to the mastermind event, the Sin Mastermind. That was my same thing. I went in, I told them what I wanted to do. I want to coach people, professional development, small businesses. And they were like, well, okay, that's overly broad. Who is your audience? And I'm thinking, I'm like, everybody. But you can't be all things to all people, and you will be spread thin if you try to be. So, who really am I? What is my target audience? Why did I start the empowerment platform? And honestly, I started it because I know what it feels like to not have the resources that you need. I grew up in a small town in Alabama. I mean, we got one flashing traffic light, no McDonald's, no grocery stores, no malls, no movie theaters, no nothing. Just it's just a place on the map. And it's so small when people ask me where you from, I have to tell them the geographical references. Hour north of Mobile and 2 hours south of Montgomery. So I think about that. I just wanted to be able to provide resources for people like me who didn't have anything but hardworking family members, but no other information. And if you've been watching some of the episodes I came on, I had a financial advisor with Nick White. Nobody talked about financial advice when we were growing up. Nobody talked about saving money, investing money, life insurance, planning. Nobody gave us that information, so we didn't even know. All I knew growing up was the family worked hard and you should work hard. But at the end of the day, when I think about that thing and I'm looking at my family members, and I have nothing against hardworking blue collar individuals. That is who built our country on the backs of slaves, and then the blue collar workers. That built our nation. It really gave us everything that we provided. It gave us the opportunity. But when I look at them, and you honestly take an assessment, all they did was work hard. But what was their reward? What did they pass down generationally other than hard work ethic? And I think about, we weren't told anything. I know my mom listens, and I know she probably remembers I told her at a very young age that I don't want to work hard like that, because you're looking at people that work hard, and I mean, when I say work hard, my uncles and my dad and other people I know, they worked 12-hour jobs, 6 or 7 days of the week. And for what? I don't remember them doing anything really to even enjoy themselves. And so I grew up seeing and hearing that you got to work hard, but I never understood the connection by it. And as a kid growing up, my dad went to prison when I was in the 5th grade, and he didn't get out until I was in senior high school, getting ready to graduate. And when he got out of prison, what he did was he went right to work. And we didn't have the best relationship. Kind of just lost contact. He went to work. I went to do college and went on to work and went to the military. And when I got out, we kind of reconnected. Right before I got out, we started talking more, and we had these goals and plans of we were going to flip houses together, because he was an awesome contractor, great painter, and that was his wheelhouse. So we were like, we're going to flip houses together. We got to have that relationship. Not even 4 years later, he passed away at 49 from cancer. So all my life, I yearned to have that relationship. And then when I finally got it, it was gone. And he worked until he passed away. I remember calling him when he first got cancer. He was out of breath. And I said, Daddy, what you doing? He said, Oh, I'm working. He was outside and he fell against the house. He was too weak to stand up, but he was still working. Work, work, work. He worked till he died, till he could not work anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, he's gone. I still have that hole, not having that relationship. And I'm like, why? Why? So when I think about the empowerment platform, I think about this for people like me who have holes in their life because they don't have or didn't have relationships that they wanted. And to this day, I can tell you honestly that I have an issue with just being happy overall. It's like a void that no matter what I do, how successful people tell you are, when you make it, when you arrive, there's still something missing. And oftentimes that's connected to purpose. What's my purpose? So I became passionate about helping students and mainly helping students that, you know, need that void filled from not having someone in their life, and someone, not only having people in your life, but having people that give you knowledge and information. Because knowledge is power when it's applied. But when you don't even have the knowledge, what do you do? And for me, I was so and have been so good at achieving things. Like people tell me, oh, you're great with systems, you're great with this. And for me, when I had no direction in my life, I was just running around doing things that people told me I was good at. Oh, you're good at acting. Man, I went right and I was doing plays and doing stuff like that, wanted to be an actor. Oh, man, you could play the drums. Went to college, played the drums. Oh man, you good with computers. I went straight, started doing computer work. So you see, when you don't have um, purpose or a clear goal in your life, you will spread yourself around different things. And then money. Money is the other object. When you chase money, you will do anything and not be happy. So I had a rough year, real estate wise, investing wise in 2019. And that's because I was running around trying to do a lot of things that seemed doable and easy, and just because I could do them, but it wasn't what I was passionate about. It's not what I really cared about. So all the problems that come up with investing in real estate, because there are problems. And what happens is you learn to mitigate those problems and deal with them. I can pull any major real estate investor up on this podcast and have them talk about their issues. And we all have the same, from one property to 100 properties. You all have the same issues. But what some of the bigger players told me in the game, they were like, you just got to get used to it and deal with it. And man, 2019 almost took me out just emotionally because it was crazy. And it wasn't for me. So for everybody out there that's like me, the empowerment platform was made to give you information, to help you on your journey, and to let you know that it's okay that you don't know who you are. In the mastermind, several of us went around the circle with, who am I and what do I want to do? Have I figured it out yet? And to you listening, you may not have figured out what you want to be yet, who you are, what you're passionate about, and that's okay. We never fully arrive. We just get better and better and better as we go. So now, I'm on this big personal development kick because I'm just trying to become the best version of myself every single day. And one thing that I had to commit to in the group is commit to being happy and letting it be okay. Because I honestly just, I'm happy for my wife. I'm happy for my kids. I'm happy when they're happy. I'm happy when they achieve things. But what makes me happy personally? Oftentimes, men especially carry weight and burden and don't ever really release it. And I know my man Alan, who's probably keyed in, knows this, and he feels it a lot, just carrying the weight of problems, of issues, and never releasing them. You just never get your truth out, and it kills you on the inside. And I just want to encourage you out there, don't be that way. Be open, be vulnerable. And that's one of the major reasons why I brought a mental health professional on the empowerment platform, because I know what it feels like to carry weight and burden, hide it, and put on the facade of everything's okay. Put on the Facebook filter of, oh man, things are just great. And things aren't always great in life. And especially when you are a person similar to me who has achieved a lot, but still feels that empty void that, I can't explain it. And that's my story. My story is one of a young boy growing up without his dad in the house, with his mom working double shifts, two jobs, doing everything she can to provide happiness. And it just didn't work. And I've had this conversation with my mom several times. I didn't know if maybe I was just being unappreciative. Maybe I didn't think what she was doing was good enough. I don't have that answer. I appreciate everything she did. I can say that honestly, but still it felt like a void. I can remember getting things for Christmas, and then the next day felt like I didn't get anything. I can't answer that question as to why. And it's not like I had to grow up eating out of trash cans and being homeless, and I did not have the worst life. And I think there are a lot of people who feel they can't share their story because maybe their story isn't as bad as somebody else's, but everybody's story is significant. Our gifts are connected to our story. Our passion is connected to our story. Our purpose and the drive and the will to carry on is all connected. So if you are hiding who you are and your story, your impact isn't being felt by those out there who need it. There's somebody who needs to be touched by your voice some type of way. And it may not be as glamorous as everybody wants it to be. I think that's another issue with me personally. I always wanted to impact the most people doing what I do. I want to speak in front of thousands. I want to get my reach out in front of everybody. But I had to learn that when I impact that one person, they can be the one that go on to impact the thousands. I did a assembly last week before I left to go to Florida at the middle school that I mentor and volunteer at. And after I did the speech for the Black History program talking about entrepreneurship, so many kids came up to me and was like, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know where to start. I don't have anybody to support me. I don't know what to say, what to do. And I'm like, this is what the empowerment platform was birthed for. It was birthed for those kids to be able to say they want to be something. Their parents may not know how to give them the resources, but their parents could come here. And I got to be honest, I still struggle with, and I understand that when people listen to a podcast or YouTube or whatever, they go to listen to a specific thing. And my coach gave me an example. If he likes 1967 Mustangs, then when he goes to listen to the podcast, he wants to listen to a podcast about Mustangs. 1967. He doesn't want to listen to a general podcast about cars. But my struggle is if I came on and I tailored this podcast to one specific audience, then what about those people that I may not be able to reach or that I don't reach? And that's kind of my struggle because I want to be reached. I listen to a lot of different podcasts because I just want information. I still have a desire for relationship with men. So I want to be around men who are better in themselves, able to be vulnerable with each other, able to be truthful, honest, and to build each other up. So I may not just listen to one podcast, I may go listen to several different ones to pull that information in, to get that fatherly advice that I feel like I didn't get all my life. Because I still want that. And sometimes those needs don't go away. But back when I was with those kids, I noticed that they all wanted something and that this platform can help them and their families. Because the thing that a kid told me, which is why it birthed this whole platform was birthed by me mentoring some kids, and they told me that it sounds good what you're saying, but that is not my reality at home. I don't have what you're telling me I can have. I don't have anybody telling me what you can. I was telling you could be whatever you want to be. You could do this, you could do that, you could become your own boss. And they were like, but that's not my reality at home. My family doesn't talk about entrepreneurship and being your own boss and doing those things. And I was like, wow, how can we reach into the home and help these people, help these kids, help their families? Who reached into my home? Nobody. There was no resource to even, I had to leave where I grew up, get outside of there to get an understanding that the world is much bigger than working a 12-hour job, 7 days a week. All you do is sleep and work, sleep and work. Had I not left, I knew I didn't want to do that, but had I not left home, joined the military, I probably would not be where I am today. Just because I wouldn't be around people who had a mindset of you can be your own boss and own your own business. So while my platform was created for empowerment, I think I really created to speak and fill some voids in my own life. Because I'm at my best, at my absolute best, when I'm helping other people, when I'm giving out good information. And when a kid comes up to me and they say, wow, I might can do this, or I think I can do this. Or like a kid came and told me, I want to be a YouTuber. How much content should I put out? And this was a sixth grader. And I'm like, well, you need to put out something every day if you can. And in order to do that, you might have to record multiple shows or whatever you're doing in one day and then release them daily. And that just opened his eyes just a little. He never thought about that. He was like, wow, okay, so do multiple things in one day and release them. And I was like, yeah, you got it. And then other kids come up to me and they say, well, you say you're around the school, but we don't see you. I said, well, most of the time I'm in specific classrooms or I'm in the 8th grade lunch. And they were like, why don't you come hang out with us at the 6th grade lunch? Just hang out with us. And I'm like, see, now I'm making an impact. Now, when kids want someone to come in and be around them that they trust, now I can continue to pour into them because I pour into my family and I give them the same things I give everybody else. But I'm absolutely just I have that passion and that need to help as many people as I can. And honestly, I think my audience is just people who need that assistance. I don't know how to narrow it down anymore. I will welcome any ideas to do that, but I feel like if my voice or if my platform can reach any one person who is missing something in their life, then I've done my job. I might not get 1 million followers or the highest ratings, but I think that if one person connects with something and they share it to another person and that person shares it off to somebody else and they're taking the bits and pieces, maybe you don't need financial advice, but you need mental health, or maybe your friend needs the financial advice and you share that, I think I have done my job. And then the feeling that I get increases, and now I can try to be happy. I mean, I just want to be open with my audience. I want my audience to know that everything is not a-okay with the way I do things and how I live or what I'm going through, that I have massive challenges, just like everybody else. And it's okay. It's okay to have those challenges. It's okay to share them. It's okay if you don't know what your passion is, but I absolutely encourage you to seek it. Find that thing that makes you feel, like they say in the movies, young again. Find that thing that gives you life and connect to it. If you're working a job and you don't like your job, figure out how to get somewhere where you feel fulfilled. Life is too short to work somewhere that you hate. Life is too short to be in a relationship that doesn't bring you happiness, whether it's marriage, whether it's dating, whether it's friendship relationship, whether it's social relationships. If you don't have fulfillment, life is too short. We don't have all day. We don't have all 100 years to suffer. Find your happiness, find your peace, connect with your passion, connect with your purpose. Because suffering and going through things and, oh, it'll be okay, it's just not good. Again, I wanted a relationship with my father all my life. And when I finally built one, it only lasted 3 years. And I think about all the people that I hear, and I'm talking about successful people too. So this, what I'm talking about is not falling on unsuccessful or successful people. It's falling on everybody. I have heard successful people say, well, I'm not going to have a relationship with that person. I'm not going to talk to my dad. They gave up that right or that privilege or whatever. And maybe they don't. Maybe they don't want it. But I would encourage forgiveness, because forgiveness and reconnection can give you something more than just harboring those bad feelings about, or you'll have regret. And you don't want to live your life that way. So when I was able to connect, it didn't last long. And he's not the only person that I lost at a young age. My dad was 49. A year later, not even a year, it was 9 months later, my first mentor passed away from a heart attack. He was 42 or 43. And then maybe a year or two later, the man that gave me my first haircut, well, he took me to get my first haircut and told me how to ask for it. He passed away. He was 42 or 43. And then we fast forward to a year ago. I established a relationship with my son's master karate teacher. He passed away from a heart attack. He was just barely over 50. So these are all men that I had a connection with that passed away at early ages. So that's something that I started thinking about. I started thinking about, life is too short not to be happy. Why am I not happy? How can I be happy? Do I deserve happiness? What should I do to get my happiness? And what about all the other kids and sons and daughters and wives and husbands that lose people and they never really figure out what their goal or purpose was with those people? I can say that I shared a lot of good times with each one of those people that I can remember, but the relationship just seems so short lived. And that could be a source of some of the emptiness that I feel, that the connections that I seek, I haven't fully established. For men, there's a group called G Men, um, and they have small chapters across the country, and they're trying to build up. But the purpose of G Men is for men to get together, be vulnerable, support one another, have goals, talk about their families, become better men overall. So if you're a man out there and you feel like you're missing that relationship, because a lot of us grow up without our dads in the home. Let's just let's just be real and realistic and truthful. A lot of us grow up without having that male figure. And it's something that we turn to the streets for, we turn to gangs for, but there are organizations out there that young men and men can turn to get that relationship that they need. I know there has to be um groups for women. I don't know because I'm not a woman. So it's not my primary focus, but I do know that if you have something that you're missing, and I think that's the whole key to this, or just what I'm talking about. If you have something that you're missing, go out and find it. You deserve it. I deserve it. And for me to go to two different trainings with two different, totally different group of people, and for both of them to pick the same thing, what's my story? You're not connecting to your story. It just shows me that I haven't been fully authentic with who I am and who I connect with. I give you the best version of me when there's another version that probably can answer or reach some of the part of you that you need. So for me at this point, now I will just be my authentic self. I will be the Tyrus who searching for meaning, wanting to give back, wanting to empower people, wanting to feel empowered. Because at times I don't feel empowered myself. And I was told by a friend that, oh, you shouldn't show signs of weakness when you want to be an authority. Because then people won't, they don't want that. They want to see the authority. But the truth is, people want authenticity at the end of the day. People want someone that they know, like, and trust, that they can come to, and not somebody that seems like they got it all together. And we hear all the stories. We see all the big time motivational speakers. They all have their back history and their story. They have what they went through. And we all go through something. And that is what is we should be sharing. Not our perfect life that, oh, I made it, because you never really make it and things can change at the drop of a dime. But we should just be sharing our story of who we are and what we're looking for. I am a man that was raised in a single parent home with one parent in prison and one parent working all the time. I'm a person that had a full scholarship, went to school, did not do what I was supposed to do, and lost it. I worked two jobs, eking by, and I was like, this can't be it. I can't do this. And so I ended up going into the military. And then I wanted to do a full career in the military. 20 years I wanted to go enlisted, do a term, go to OTS, officer training school, become an officer, and do 20. I did not do that. I was medically retired out for disability. That was another hit in my plan. So now I'm working a job. I know that I wanted more for my family. I wanted to build generational wealth, and I knew that the job couldn't do that for me. So at that point, I started getting around real estate people and getting into real estate and starting a property management business and wholesaling. And I found out just recently that that ain't for me. It's not like I failed at doing it. It's just not for me. I don't want to wholesale and do construction, and it's just a lot of moving parts and a major headache, and you got to be built for that. And it's not for me. Um, I will do some things here and there, my own properties, my own jobs at my own pace. And now I'm just moving towards what I know makes me feel good, and that's helping other people. So, small business coaching, solo entrepreneur coaching, because I want to see other businesses succeed. And I understand how to get you there because I built businesses up from the ground up on my own. And I highly encourage people that when you're starting a business, you seek out some help, especially if you don't have it the strong suit systems and processes, because that's runs your business. It makes it repeatable. It makes it measurable. Without that, you're just working a job, really. You don't have a business. You either have a hobby or you have another job. So that's kind of where I am at this point in my growth. And that is my audience. My audience is people like me who may not have had the roughest of lives, but still had challenges and still have challenges. And I appreciate everyone for listening through this and hearing me out. Because oftentimes, we come and we want information, and it may not be the type of information that you want, but I believe that once you understand where the empowerment platform is going, then you will connect people and you will be connected to the things that you need. And again, it was only started for assisting others to empower themselves. And for me to be able to share my life story authentically, which I didn't do when I first did my story. I kind of gave you the facade, but that has been seen through by coaches and other people that have been in the business longer. They just knew that, man, you sound good. You really delivered that, but did you give us you? So I just need to give you me tonight. Let you know why and who and the backstory and the trials that I've had, the bouts of just straight unhappiness and not knowing why, jumping from thing to thing, doing this, doing that, spreading too thin, becoming a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Dial in on who you are. If you don't know who you are, get around people who will strategize with you to figure out who you are. It's okay. I will say that 100 times tonight, that it's okay if you don't know who you are. I won't call no names, but I recently new friend that I met when I was in Florida, we a lot alike on the systems, think alike, and he had the same kind of thing. Like, really, I'm great at doing systems and running a business, but who am I really? What is it that I really want? It's easy for some of us to just start businesses and grow them, but we do it out of in vain almost, because it doesn't connect with who we are. And that's because we're still searching. I don't know what I might end up doing or who I may become. And for you, that is it, if you're in the same boat, that's fine. It's not failing to do something, achieve it, and then decide that ain't me. That's not a failure in no shape, fashion, or form. Failing is never trying. Failing is never given an opportunity or a chance. Failing is just Not is just say, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that." Failing is giving up on yourself before you even gave any effort to doing the thing. That's failing. If you try and it doesn't work out, you succeeded in my book, because a lot of people won't even try. A lot of people won't give you a heart to heart. A lot of people won't tell you the truth about what's going on in the background. A lot of people won't tell you they come from a place where all people do is work hard, but they won't really pass down anything or be able to pass out anything to their kids. They just grow up, raise another generation of hard workers, making the minimum amounts of money to get by, retiring and still having to work part-time because the retirement ain't enough, or they didn't get a pension. And like I said, I have nothing. That is my family. Everything that they built gave us the opportunity to go further, and they did what they had to do and what was available to them. So I understand when young kids come up to me and they say that it's not the reality in my household, because it wasn't the reality in mine. I don't have family that own rental property. I have one aunt that does. She owns her own salon, and she owns other units in that building. She just bought that. But I don't have family that own rentals, that flip houses. Maybe one or two out of everybody. But everybody works a job, minimum pay. If they get told they're fired, they have no real skills to go anywhere else and do anything else, having to scrape by. And I'm not telling you all that to say, woe is me or woe is my family, because they worked and the work ethic is there. They did what they had to do. My great grandfather chopped cotton for 10 cents a week. My grandma picked cotton at I think she told us $5 or less, $2, $1 for every 100 pounds. So they worked, and they have always worked. But there's much more to life than working all your life and not having anything really at the end. The money under the mattress doesn't make anything. It actually loses in value because of inflation. So when you come to the empowerment platform, you come here knowing that I will give you the information that you need. If you shoot me a topic, if you shoot me a question, I'll get that information. I'll get an answer. If I don't have the answer, I'll find somebody, because I know what it felt like growing up to ask a question and nobody really knows the answer. We know how to work hard. We don't know how to invest. And my hat goes off to Nick out there, who is trying his best, and Ron. They are out there trying to pass that financial advice to an area that we grew up in where people just not used to that. So you can imagine the kind of stop, or the kind of barriers, or they got to break through that wall that people have, because they're just not used to talking about investing your money. I put my money in the bank. It's in a savings account. That's all. I'm good with that. No, you're not. Because when you pass on and don't have any life insurance, how are they going to pay for your funeral? That's the type of things that are very important to us, that help us move further, and that everybody doesn't get. Everybody doesn't get that information. My kids will grow up knowing and having access to more information, access to more resources, access to karate and swimming and sports and just everything that we didn't really have. I remember a taekwondo studio opening up maybe 20 minutes from where I grew up, probably lasted a couple of years, and it was gone. We just didn't have it. And when I go into these schools, mentoring these kids, they say the same thing. We just don't have it. My background, my family, we just don't talk about it. So I could tell them that, hey, if you tell your parents to follow, like, share the empowerment platform, we'll be able to get the resources that you need. One little girl stood up. She said she wanted to publish a book, that her mom was helping her get the pictures together and she was helping write it. She's sixth grade, wanting to publish a book. Thank goodness I was in the ETA Game Changers group and they were talking about publishing books. So I put in a question. I said, okay, how can I get a book published, or what are you guys using to publish books? And they sent over the resources. That's what this is about. It's not about that little girl saying, I want to write a book and publish a book. And I'm like, I don't know. Can't help you there. But I was able to help her. And the smile on her face to see that it's invaluable. It's invaluable. This is what the entire purpose of the empowerment platform. And I thank you for allowing me to share my story with you, for getting intimate, for giving you an understanding or context around why, and for you being here to help me share. Because I need you as listeners just as much as you need the information here, because you can help me understand and know what you need, what topics you want, and I can bring and have those resources, because I know that there are people listening that reach out to me off channel and behind the scenes and say, yeah, what you talked about, what was shared, I really needed that. That was something that really touched or impacted me. And oftentimes the people just, we kind of gloss over that, or some people may not feel comfortable saying it, but you can be comfortable here. You can be truthful. You can be honest. You can tell me what you need, and we can grow together. So my pledge to you is, as a host, always be authentic, 100%. I will always give you the truth and the resources, 100%. Being authentically me. Hey, I have challenges. I have issues. I'm a work in progress. I am seeking to be better every single day. And I'm also seeking happiness and fulfillment. I'm seeking to connect to my passion of helping people. I'm seeking to fulfill the great commission of spreading the gospel. That is who I am. That's what I'm doing. And my other pledge to you is to give you the resources that you need that will empower you to reach your goals. Because without that, we're just talking fluff and we're just doing the same cycle. Kids have dreams. You tell them to have dreams. You don't give them the resources that they need to fulfill their dreams. Parents feel like they failed in a sense because I wasn't able to give my child anything better than what I had. And it's not about work ethic all the time. It's not about just work, 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 work. It's about resources and access and knowledge. Teach them how to work hard, sure. But if you have a kid that wants to be a published author, go get that information. Don't just sweep it under the rug and say, well, they can figure that out when they become an adult. Because there are kids that are so bright, so talented, that if they just had somebody just to believe in them and give them information, they will be our next generation leaders at an early age. As I get ready to log off of here, shoot me topics that you want to hear. You can put them right on the page. You can DM the page or DM me. You can text me 443-900-1518. You can email me Tyrus, Tyrus at tshivers.com. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear what you need, what resources that I can help you with. I want to hear what you like and what you dislike. I do understand that I can't be everything to everybody, but what I can do is I can try to meet whatever needs that you have or whatever resources that you want. I can do my best to that and just give you the truth, give you the simple, not make it convoluted. If you need a publisher, I can help you with that. If you whatever you need, just feel free to reach out to me and feel empowered to share your story. My call to action tonight is for all of you listening to commit to being your best self, commit to being authentically you. No more hiding, no more mask, no more facades, no more filters, no more I'm living my best life when I'm really not. And that's not to say you got to go blast it to the world. Just find somebody that you can communicate with, that you feel like you can work with, that you feel like will be a good listener to you, that you feel like will help you. Les Brown says, OQP, only quality people. Surround yourself with like-minded quality individuals that will help you get to that next level, because life is too short to live it unhappy. So think about what your purpose is. Think about what makes you, what gives you breath, what gives you joy, excitement, and connect with it. It may not be where you currently are, and you have to make that decision to move away, to cut loose. I was talking with somebody that was really over kind of, abusive situations. And the thing you have to do is you got to cut loose that abusive part before you can move forward, before you can get better, before you can heal. So if you are in a situation that is not conducive to a growth environment, you may have to cut loose some old friends, old relationships, people, family, just whoever, because doing so will allow you to live your best life, and it will allow you to live. A lot of us just exist. I know what it feels like to exist. I have existed and not really lived. Work, work, home, work, existing. And it's nobody's fault. There's no exterior person. It's when you're dealing with an internal battle, you have to find out who you are. Nobody can give you that. Not your spouse, not your kids, not your parents, not your friends. Once you figure out you, then you put yourself in the environment that's conducive to who you are and that growth. But don't go looking for it in somebody else. And for people out there listening that are significant others, spouses, parents, kids to other people, you can't give it to them, and don't try. Just be there for them in their journey. Understand that they're growing. Understand that things may be a little bit different because they're starting to be authentic with you. Should they have been authentic all along? Yes. Is it as easy to do that as I just said it? No. If that was the case, we will all be living our authentic best lives with no issues. So we understand that there comes some trial with that. I just encourage you to work together as a team. Understand the story. Hear and listen. And walk that walk together. Again, I thank you. I thank you for spending nearly an hour with me. If you felt like I rambled, I probably did, but I just had to get out. And I was encouraged to by my group. They say, tell your story, the real story, not the, oh, I'm a successful real estate investor. I worked, had a great job and everything's great. But share the why behind why you did it. Share the limitations and the weak points, the things that you felt. become authentic. That what was my challenge. And then from CJ and ET and that group, connect my story with what I'm doing. Two different groups told me the same thing in agreement. These people don't know each other. So I recognized at that point that I was leaving out a big part of me. And I just want you to know who I am, why I do this, and that I'm here for you. So that's my time. I am signing off. Remember, the empowerment platform is here to help empower you to reach your goals and give you the tools and resources on your journey. Again, I put my information in the chat. Feel free to reach out. If you have a topic that I haven't went over yet that you want to hear, let me know. I will bring on a guest host, an expert in that field, and we will do a deep dive into it. Also, if you need any kind of advice and you don't want to put it in the chat, reach out to me and I will do my best to provide you with the resources that will help you. Thank you, Facebook family, and good night.